Okay, next, I mean, perfect. We're talking about rental supply gap and the fact
to
that it's going
double,
to,
to double in the next
yeah.
10 years. And this
Don't
is
worry,
from
don't worry, Matt. We got 4,000 units coming sometime. I don't know when versus our usual 20,000 per year like we used to get. Um, yeah, no, it's all good. This is not a problem at all. As we still see people carrying on more debt, maybe less likely in those scenarios to own a home. We're going to need a strong rental market, and our supply gap is doubling in the next 10 years.
we do. We need. It's so important that we have a strong uh, rental market because young people need to get into an affordable rental property so that they can save money to make that next step in their life. But what the society that we're in right now is that a young person jumps right into a rental at an insanely high price because of the amount of demand, and it's almost impossible for them to save up anything. So either their parents are giving them the down payment on the house so that they can transition to that, um, but in the past, you would rent a place for maybe 5, 10 years. You and your partner would pool your money together to have a down payment on a property. And that can't happen right now because there's far too much demand. Rent prices are insanely high. Um, and this goes to say why. We need another 232, or sorry, we're going to have another 232,000 new renters over the households over the
Mm.
next 10 years. So we are going to be in a deficit of 121,000 units. So if you're a young person and you want to own a home so that you can raise your family there, the 4,000 homes that the government's going to build is just not going to cut it. You need private investment to build this stuff. And in my opinion, what stalled this out, what absolutely hammered the rental market in Ontario was that they put rental controls on the places. This seems like a great idea. You can't raise my rent. How, like, just look. The proof is there that rental prices have gone through the roof because we just don't have enough rentals in this province. If you leave rent caps alone, they will overbuild, which means prices of rents will stabilize. They can't just jack up your rent every year because they've
Mm.
overbuilt. That's the way I see it. As an investor, oh, I can't raise rents ever. Okay, I'll go and build apartment buildings somewhere else. Once Doug Ford came in and changed that rule, the amount of apartment buildings we're building now is significantly higher. They represent over 50% of all new starts in Ontario are rental properties. And we want that to continue to accelerate. And the government needs to step in, incentivize the building some more so that we can do that, so that families can start again and be able to rent for a little while, save up their money, and buy the house that they want to ultimately live in.
Yeah. And that's what we're seeing too, right? We're seeing that with the condo starts being down as much as they are because the condo market has its own issues. There, fewer rentals are going to be there. Fewer investor rentals are going to be going out. When we look at some of that purpose built rental growth, even what we talked about with the BCH and with MERB, it's the growth is just too slow. It's not going to keep up with the demand that we have coming in. And we still have that issue of affordability, right? And so if affordability is going to be a challenge, it's going to push people to the rental market. And if we don't have rentals available for them, it just makes a scenario where our population is living paycheck to paycheck, doesn't have enough housing. Housing is too expensive, both on the rental side and on the home ownership side. And it's not this great society that we've had historically in Canada. So these changes do need to happen. And I like how we kind of summarize it at the end there. Without that major policy change, BCH making a big change, MERB being in there, rents are going to stay under pressure and low vacancy rates, right? And so getting a place is hard. And here's what it looks like in terms of the reality of how renters then face this. You've got all these challenges over the last couple of years of we're seeing multiple offers when you're trying to get a rental. You're not guaranteed the place that you want to rent if you've got a good job, good credit, and good income. You're one of 15 that have that exact same scenario. So now what happens? Then we get into those like prepayment options of like, I'm going to give you the larger deposit. I'll pay 6 months up front. I'll pay a year up front. None of that is supposed to be happening, but it's renters almost taking it upon themselves to be like, I really need this home. And if I don't get this one, I don't know which one I'm going to get next. What can I do to ensure or at least better my chances that I can get this. And so as long as we have a supply gap, those practices will keep happening, and those challenges will keep coming forward.
It's crazy to it almost feels like it's deliberate, to be honest with you, just because of how strong of a demand there. Typically with anything, when there is an extremely strong demand, you get massive competition to build what people want. It doesn't matter if it's housing, if it's a product, if it's a service. Higher prices are usually the cure for higher prices because the margins are higher. People want to get in and build that product. But it seems like people haven't been able to build the amount of products that clearly the society and the client wants.
Yeah.
And something's getting in that way and has been getting in that way for a long time. And it needs to be pushed aside, out of the way responsibly, so that people can have affordable homes to live in. And we're not getting into markets all the time where prices are going sky high, then sky down, crashing down. We need a more stable, healthy market in this country, or in at least Southern Ontario.
Yeah. And policy is going to be one of the key drivers there.
Yes, absolutely.